This doesn't do nothing?
No, it's broken.
Oh shit, okay. My name is Johnny Gomez. Am I supposed to look, am I addressing you? I'm 27 years old. I am a full-time musician, guitarist. I dabble in bass and keyboards a little bit. Oh, I sing.
Ah.
Yes. I've been a musician. I started playing guitar when I was 12. And professionally, probably since I was like 18. I currently have one EP out, yes. It's called The White EP. It's like funk, R&B, and hip-hop. Oh my goodness. Prince is my all-time hero of everything, life and music. Oh, I did. I went to fake college. I went to the Musicians Institute in Hollywood for a year and a half. And I did try to go to like community college to get like a serious degree. But at the time, I tried to go while I was working full-time in music. And for example, when I became employed at Disneyland, they were rehearsing like 3 or 4 times a week for 2 months straight, and I missed a lot of class and I dropped out because the teachers would not let me make up finals. That was probably 2 or 3 years ago. I was going full-time music. You know, you work on the weekends and, you know, coming home at 4 in the morning and then having class at 7 and then doing sessions and gigs and all that. Then life happened. This is hard. I failed a lot. So I probably started community at like 19 or 20 and then went off and on. Yeah, I wanted a master's in music. I was not sure what focus, as long as it was music, but I was looking at jazz performance. I got my AA in guitar performance and I was a 1.5-year program. So my whole high school experience was tailored around graduating early, a year early. So I took summer classes, I was in summer school, I was always going to school. And then I was practicing all the time. My dad made sure I was taking the best lessons. I was in bands. I was always playing music. I'd come home, not even really do my homework, because once I started playing guitar, that's when my grades kind of started dropping, because I was like, this is what I want to do. And so I was taking, when I was a junior, I was taking senior classes at the same time. Graduated a year early, got in to MI, and I don't remember what the original question was. I walked, got my, you know, with my tassel and all that with the seniors. It wasn't even like a month or two because school ended and then the semester started at MI. Right in. Well, there's all the financial aid, the boring crap, obviously. But there was an audition. And that audition was what we prepared for. It was like, learn all your scales, learn reading, learn all this stuff. So I practiced for years. Not many people were getting in because you had to be really dedicated. We got there, applied, did all the orientations, the tours, all this stuff. And while I was sophomore, junior, they would always have like these summer shop programs where you could sort of go and like test it out for a week. I did like 2 or 3 of those. I was there all the time. So by the time I started school, everybody kind of knew me. The teachers knew who I was. It was like, I better prepare, I gotta be really good. And then the audition came up, they gave me the requirements, and it was totally bonehead. It was like, play a major scale, read these notes. And you did have to submit like yourself playing. So I just recorded myself with my band from high school. We just did a track, and that was it. I submitted it, and they let me in, and they kind of like eased it, because a lot of people got in. I was all like, I've been training, like I'm a badass, and I got in, and so many people got in that were not really that good, and I was like, what is this? Like, what are you doing in here? Like, I practiced, I've been working on this for like 4 years, trying to get in here seriously, you know? I came in with this attitude all like, you know, I'm the shit, sorry, like, all cool, and then I came in and I was like, everybody's getting in. What? When I was in 8th or 9th grade, I just started bringing my acoustic guitar to school for some reason. Crowds started like forming, and I was just trying to like practice, but there was a drummer and he saw me play and he was like, he was really good. We were like, what, 12, 13, 14? And he was super talented, and he came at me all like elite. He was like, hey man, you play pretty good, you want to be in my band? And I called my dad and ran home and I was like, Dad, somebody asked me to be in the band, oh my god, what do I do? I was like, he's like, yeah, you should go. And it wasn't even anything, we were just a bunch of kids, you know, and we went and we jammed, and that never really did anything serious, but it was cool to play with other guys. And when I was 15, a friend of mine said, you should try to play in this church band. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I went over and I sat in, and it was, I don't know what the proper way to say, but it was a black church. The thing about that was that they were all like, they weren't schooled musicians. It was all street knowledge and playing with your ear, and they were super intense. And I was like, cool, what are we doing? And I was, you know, I had been taking those lessons and stuff, so I came in all cool, like, what key is this in? But they were like, we didn't know nothing about no keys. And they were amazing, just playing, but they could not tell me what they were playing. They just knew what sounded good. And, you know, eventually I realized they could tell you, like, this is an A or whatever, but they were just kind of being hard asses. And so I did that for like 2 years. And so through that, the drummer started playing, and then they said, let's create this super talented young youth praise band. And we just started doing gigs out in different churches and stuff. I'm not really sure how I got into that, but whatever I was playing, I learned a ton, because it was like I came in on like trying to be educated. So it was this new experience, because it was totally out of my comfort zone. Every time I hated going, because I was like, I feel like I'm not good enough. They're on my case all the time about like, you know, what keys is it? You don't need no keys, just use your ear. And then, you know, I was like, I don't understand. But I learned a ton. And because of that, I think that experience helped me get a lot of the gigs that I have now. And just my entire perspective of playing with unfamiliar bands or whatever. And so that became this youth praise band. But I wasn't totally in it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I started kind of rebelling. I was like, I don't want to do this. My dad was like, this is good for you, trust me, like, you want this. And it was. He was right. There was this band in my high school, Neon Fields. The drummer was in 9th grade, the drummer was in my intro to business class, and he would never shut up about his band. They were looking for a guitar player. I play guitar. He gave me his demo, and he was like, well, yeah, well, maybe we'll try you out. Trying to be all hard again. Took their demo, and they had this one song. It was called Dead Tree. And I was listening to it. I was like, this is cool. They were kind of like a funky garage grunge band or whatever. And this one song was different. It had like a thing to it. Everybody in the band was super talented. The front man was awesome. He was super into the Beatles. This thing for melody and harmony. But we were kids that we didn't know. You know, but this one song stuck out. And I was listening to it. But there was like this space where it was just playing the instruments. There was no vocal or anything. So I took it home, put it on my computer, played over it, a little solo or whatever, and I gave it to them. I was like, hey, check this out. And they were like, oh my god, this is good. Because nobody at school was playing like that at the time. And so they were like showing it off to everybody, and they were like, who's what? And like I remember they came at me as a band, and a bunch of other guys, and they're like, so you looking for a band or what? It was weird. It was like out of a movie or something. They were trying to be all cool, and I was like, at the time I was super nerdy looking, I was chubby, and I remember like I was wearing like this like button up and like khakis. I was like, sure. At the time I didn't really have a whole ton of friends, and so then that gave me like this group of people to identify with. We kind of became a big family, and they all decided together, you know, my dad proposed to them what we were doing for me to go to music school, and they all kind of started working toward the same thing. They didn't take it as seriously as I did, but they got in. There was some drama involved. Long story short, the drummer's dad passed away, and he kind of went on a bender, partying, went crazy. When I said, well, I'm going to move out, they took it super personally. Even the parents, they got super mad. And they were like, well, okay, well, fine. You're too cool for us, and go and do your thing. Have a nice life. And I was like, oh, okay. These are people that I considered brothers, you know. We went through so much together. When Neon Fields kind of dissipated, like, during the college thing. And my parents are just always my support.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't know nothing about no gigs, Mom. And she's like, look at this audition. I saw it in the OC Register or something. they're looking for guitar players at Disneyland. And I saw they had the concept art, and I was like, this ain't me. Like, I can't do that. And at the time, I had long hair and like weird facial hair, and like I didn't really have me down yet. So I remember I walked in, there was like 15 people on the panel. It was a brand new show, so everybody was there. And video cameras, and I was like, they're like, cool, what are you playing? American Women. And they're like, do you mind if we just skip to the solo? Because they've been hearing it all day. Yeah, that's fine. And they were like, okay, cool. And the director was like, okay, but we need you to like really put on a performance. Like, pretend there's 10,000 screaming girls. Like, come on, like, give me that. And I was like, okay, so I did American Woman, and then I Got a Feeling. And so I like rocked out, and I got it. I went up to the table, and I was like, yeah. And they were like, all right. And I said, one more. They said you play 2 to 3 songs. Don't Stop Believing. Mind if we skip to the solo?
So they wanted you to like ham out, basically.
Yeah. And I was like, all right. So then I did the solo. And they're like, cool, do one more, even if it's not on the list.
So they had to do 4 songs?
Well, I couldn't tell if, one, they were excited and they wanted to hear more, or 2, like, we're not really getting what we want, let's give them one more chance.
Yeah.
I kind of think it was 1.
Well, yeah.
Whatever.
They don't got time for anything.
I know, because they've been there all day, so why would they, if I was bad, they'd just be like,
yeah,
get out of here. Even if it's not on the list, so like the band, I was like, you guys know Fire by Jimi Hendrix? They were like, yeah. And I said, cool, so we'll start with the intro, we'll do a verse, and then chorus, and solo, out. I showed some, like, it was like Back to the Future status, like, you know, try to follow me for change, you know.
Oh my God.
And I was like, and they were like, cool. And I said, cool, so I'll call out the solo, y'all just follow me, it's gonna be longer. And they were like, cool. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm showing my chops here, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, all right then. And so I totally got like my Prince James Brown on. And I was like, all right, hit me. We started it. And then like the lady, she kept like, after every song, kept hounding me. No, we need more. Give me more, give me more. I was like, you want more, girl? All right then. Jimi Hendrix, I was like, this is my stuff since high school, you know? So we did Fire. And the whole time I was like, singing to her. I was like, you don't care for me. I don't care about that. And I was like, hamming it up. And I got a little bit crazy. I was like, girl, let me show you something. This and that. And so the chorus went through, and I was like singing to her the whole time. And finally, like, the guitar solo came up. And I was like, move over, Rover. I'm taking over. And I kind of did this to her with my face.
So it worked.
And so then the solo came up, and I didn't take my eyes off her the whole time. I was like, what's up, girl? And I was like, shredding. And I was like, you know, this ain't
playing the womanizer.
Yeah, I was like, this ain't hard. I was like, yeah.
Was she old?
She was older, yeah. I was like, take it to the bridge. Alright, hit me, bam, ended. And they were like, hell yeah, get measured. That was like, that meant you get measured for the costume.
Yep.
And I remember the Todd got measured, the guy from me got measured. So 3 of us. Hell yeah. Would you mind cutting your hair? And I was like, if you got a gig for me, I'll cut my hair. Shoot.
And then it started right away when you got hired?
No, actually it took months.
Oh,
like
really?
2 months. And I was like, I guess I didn't get the gig. And I was kind of, some of us traded phone numbers, and I was like, hey man, did you get the, no, I haven't heard anything. And I got the call. And they're like, so yeah, you've been chosen, and the rehearsal started 2 weeks. Showed them up. And yeah, so I got that gig. And so entertainment, some people have a little leeway depending on the character they're playing. Mm-hmm. But I wore fake hair, and I put my hair in, what do they call it, French braid. And then finally, when I knew I had the gig for sure, I did a few shows. I was like, all right, I'll cut my hair, because I've been 7 years anyway. I was like, from my high school band, like I remember one summer we were just rehearsing every day, and I like forgot to get a haircut. I was like, I had a few close calls, and that was like the one thing that I did where I learned a lot, because then I started doing Tomorrowland Terrace as well with Thomasina. And this is, you have to be show. And I learned a lot. I just got comfortable with that. And it just like, that, like, it's like, go. And I was like, cool, well, I can wear this stuff. I was like, eyeliner. So yeah, and it just helped me like figure out my stage person. And it made me feel okay with what I'm into and this and that. And, you know, at the time, before that, my mom was like, you gotta do an original project. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, Prince music and this and that. And in my head, it just seemed so small. I was like, wow, like, in my head, I would see myself, like, sort of, like, when I was a kid, like, growing up with nice jeans and like, and my dad was like, nah, it's not a show though. Like, and being at Disney, I was like, hell no, I'm gonna wear like, I'm gonna cut up my shirts, or I'm gonna put on this, do my hair a certain way, or like wear jewelry, or like
Get the look.
Yeah, that opened it up, and suddenly I was like, I am all about this. I was like, let me get this like trench coat, put studs on it, and put like whatever, man. I was like going crazy. So it released the monster, I guess. That was weird because a lot of us like saw the opportunity. We were like, well, let's bring people out to our other gigs. So we started announcing, and then slowly they started like showing up. And I was one of the few people that had a regular weekly thing at the Dubliner. So they just started like showing up more and more. And then we have other events, and they start showing up, and you know, suddenly we're somewhat accessible. And at first it was really exciting, obviously. And we're like, whoa, this is crazy, and like it was fun, and like, you know, for a minute it gives you a bit of an ego trip, you know, and this and that. But, you know, obviously it sort of chills out after a while. But it was a little weird at first because I guess the show was so significant to particularly the pass holders. They got really into it, and somehow they'd like find us on Facebook and stuff like that. Like our instruments had our name on a sticker in the back. I would say Johnny Gomez primary, Johnny Gomez backup. Everybody had 2 guitars. So when the guitars are on the stand during the breaks, they can like look and be like, oh, it's Johnny Gomez. I remember I got like 10 friend requests one time. I remember when I started like Facebook, at the time when I was first started Disney, I only had like a handful of friends. I didn't really have friends on Facebook.
They have like a big online community, don't they? Like all the fans.
Yeah, and so then it started with like 5, and then like 10. You know, it was just like whatever. I was like, how do they find us? That's weird. That's weird. That's crazy. And like, because of our names on the instruments or people talking, like a lot of them knew some of the performers from the other shows already. So you friend request them, mutual friends, they look, and it just
flew up.
This thing, you know, and jumped right in, and we jumped in. And
do you have any crazy fan stories?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of them. There's a lot of stories about like other people, other cast members, like being followed home, or like it was a little bit for a second. Like the hype was so big for whatever reason. I don't know why. I mean, it was a good show, obviously, but it just got a little bit weird, like because they, you know, like, I had to like really make sure that the details on my Facebook profile were precise or covered up, because it'll say like Johnny Gomez, Santa Ana, California, and suddenly people are like, "Hey, I live in Santa Ana. I think I saw you driving by. Like, you live in those neighborhoods and this and that. I live like right down the street." It's like,
bye.
I don't know what that. I don't see that. That doesn't. I don't like that.
No.
That fan part. That's weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's a little bit. And also, it's also a weird, like, I don't know if it's ego, but like my perception of like being an artist or whatever now, especially like it's like I don't want people to know those details about me.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird. I don't think I've had anything super crazy. A lot of the girls, like, you know, they, especially when they come to like pub gigs, they'll get liquored up or whatever, and they'll get brave, and like you walk into a crowd of people trying to like get to your stage, and then somebody grabs your butt or something or whatever. Yeah, I don't think I've had anything super like. But so, definitely opened up a network. Doing, you know, you just get hired up to do. One person has another person refers you, and suddenly just started doing these corporate gigs and bigger things and meeting people. You know, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be able to do my EP. The EP, well, it was December last year, or December 2 years ago, so 14. I said, you know what, I want to do this thing. So I met up with Dallas, who I kind of knew through mutual friends, and not from the Disney crowd, but from like my own before that, my own networking before that. And we just had similar tastes, so I said, you know what, I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him about, I got these ideas, let's see where we go with it. No, I had like 3 ideas, and one of them I felt really good about. I was kind of new to songwriting and stuff like that. I did some, but in this style. The one that I came in with was, oh damn, I said, I got this idea, and like, well, what do you want to do? And we kind of just started hashing it out. Like, so the first one was very like very experimental, like finding the identity and trying a bunch of stuff. shredder, and so some live instruments and stuff like that. And then so we started sort of messing around in December, and then probably like spring 2015 we like really pushed. And it came out. It was done around June or July, and it kind of started coming out around that time, July, August. There's a trilogy of sorts, white, pink, and black. And so I kind of look at it like maybe, I don't know, what does EP stand for? Extended play. I kind of look at it like experimental projects, like trying to figure it out. You know, these EPs are usually like 3 or 4 tunes, but we're doing like 5 or 6. It's just kind of like, I don't look at it like demos or EPs. I'm just like, okay, we did the first one. This was like, let's see what we do. Let's get together and cool. Gist of the entire project. So now the pink one is a little more like focused. I was like, cool. So these are the elements I really liked about the first one. These are the things I want to bring in. I'm starting to figure out the voice, the artist, the song.
Are you changing the style at all, like genre?
It's all funk for sure and R&B, but the elements change a little bit. And so the pink one's got its thing. So you heard me tell you pop. It was like, I think I'm aiming more electronic, more sort of 80s, but like not new wave 80s, more like 80s funk. Then even the songs we started working for the Black EP are their own thing. So I look at it like, let's try with these EPs. Let's try it stuff. They're each got their own thing, and there's continuity. But hopefully, when we get those 3 together, and it comes time to do an album, it's like, cool. Well, we've experimented and felt it all out. We've had time to chip away. Now let's do the album and put all of them together. It's actually really, it's a joint thing. Like, I'll have a music idea. Like, here's this beat. Dallas, here's this beat, and then we'll get together and like hash it out, and then like, cool, I had this melody idea. What should the lyric? What's the concept of the song? Where are we gonna take it? And it's pretty much both of us. It's sort of like we're not super duper like serious so far.
Yeah.
So far, we're not super duper serious or like
it's like
poetic.
Fun and like
it's fun, party. That was my question at the beginning. It's like, I don't really know what to talk about, but I know I like girls, and I like having fun, and I've had my heart broken, and I've really it's sort of like Taylor Swift, I guess. The first EP is definitely rooted in reality. There's a lot of true stories, and if you're clever, you can like shape it so it's kind of universal, and people can understand and relate to it. So, and then, you know, this new pink one is definitely more of that fun girls party, and we try to be a little like tongue-in-cheek, and like, we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
We take the project seriously, but, you know, we don't want to be comedy either. So, you know, it's like if you listen to Outkast or Prince or Rick James. Like,
yeah. Fun.
Yeah. Even when it is being serious, it's still somehow fun. I think I was going to do a project anyway, but the Disney thing, like I said, helped me. I don't know if it made who I am, but I think it just let me like be comfortable. Put whatever was inside outside. And the fan base, you know, they started, you know, and it wasn't anything I did like consciously. They'd come out and I was just doing my thing and being me, and they were like, it became a thing that they began to recognize. So when my music came out, they were like, this is totally him.
Yeah.
Why are we not, this is not surprising,
yeah.
You know, so that's pretty cool, you know, to have that. So, I mean, you know, right now I'm focusing a lot on, I want to really give a fair shake to my original music and see where that goes, and if it doesn't go anywhere, then get back on and like really like just do the gigging thing seriously. As you probably know, work comes and goes, and, you know, pushes and pulls, it's like up and down, but, you know, I don't know. I'm gonna, like I said, right now it's the original music and doing gigs. Obviously, I gotta eat and entertainment.
Yeah.
The focus right now is definitely that, and, you know, to the point where like it's like, man, if a tour, like, what if I get auditioned for a tour or something and have to be gone? Like, that's gonna push my project behind, and that's a serious consideration. And so it really depends on what the gig would be right now.
Yeah.
If I really try hard and it fails, doesn't do anything, and then I'm like, all right, fine, gigging.
Yeah.
Then a tour comes up, going for sure. Sometimes, depending on the month, it's like money. I need to make money.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird. Sometimes it might be lame to say this, but sometimes it might feel like work because sometimes you gotta learn songs you hate, and sometimes you gotta perform songs you hate to nobody or to lame people. You know, sometimes you do some of these like weddings or corporate gigs where people are jerks, but I mean, that's first world problem shit. Like, obviously, there's always room for more or better or whatever, and there are stresses when you do get down on yourself sometimes. Like, am I as good as I'm supposed to be? Do I gotta practice more? You know, oh my gosh, am I gonna make right next month? But like, that shit happens. But somehow you make it work.
Okay, 3 more questions.
Yeah, that's good. Do it.
Okay, so what do you still like want to accomplish as a musician?
Definitely want to finish these EPs. And like I do original shows here and there, but I would love to like be regularly performing my own music. Maybe make my income off of that. You know, that's the accomplishment I would like to do. I would love to maybe do a tour with my music. Maybe, you know, opening for a national act doing my music. Really try to get it out. Yeah,
Famous in your eyes.
Yeah, you know, I guess the goal ultimately, realistically, is to make a living off of my own music. And fame may or may not come with that. And that's fine. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people making it independently that aren't like famous per se. They're not like Beyonce or Drake or Kanye famous. And that's like a whole other entire universe. But there are a lot of independent artists making it that they'll pack out House of Blues or whatever. I think they have a following and people love what they're doing. And, you know, I wanted people to hear what I got to say. And it ain't much, but, you know. As far as getting there, I think I like the way I did it. I never really had a bunch of friends or partied anyway. I've always been kind of a homebody, stayed home and watched movies and practice. So I don't feel like I missed out in that part of high school, that being a kid part. I don't know. Getting here has been good. I mean, maybe I wish I would have taken the college thing a little more seriously, just because having a degree, you know, you have more credibility that way. You know, you could be super talented, but in the working world, that doesn't mean nothing. You know, I mean, it means something, but if you have like, oh, by the way, I have a master's degree, I'd be like, hey, the teachers actually started telling me that. You know, I was taking the music courses and failing, and they were like, dude, like, you're working. You kind of made it. Like, what are you here for? It's definitely, like, as far as, like, in my case, music school. People make a living. There are tons of people that are making a great living, that are schooled and educated, and in my opinion, maybe this is me or whatever, I'll hear them play or do their thing, and I'm like, you know what, it sounds good. It's technically proficient, but it doesn't feel passionate or like genuine. It's like, you know, some guys, they know all the chords, they know all the scales, and they do complex music and this and that, but it's like
no heart.
There's not saying anything, you know. It's a weird. The art world is different, you know. It's because it's not judged by what's on paper.
Yeah, it's not black and white. It's just like
there's a lot of like opinion and taste, and again, if you have whatever that intangible thing is, you know, it's tricky. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm not trying to go against what your parents want you to do or anything. I'm not trying to give you bad advice. I think, you know, my mom at first was a little hesitant. She's like, well, that's not, you know, my dad's like the artist more. He's like, do it. My mom's kind of like, cool, but like, what if it doesn't work out? What are you gonna do? You should try to like get a business degree too at the same time. And I was like, no, if I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna get a music degree. And she's like, yeah, but like, what about if it doesn't work out? You gotta have a backup plan. She said, Bill Cosby is still gonna have a business, but nobody listens to Bill Cosby anymore. Oh man, as far as art goes, I'm probably not want to talk because I'm never gonna feel like I practiced enough, especially when I hear other players. I don't feel like I practice enough as it is, which for real I don't. I should, but definitely if you're into it, it's like weird. It's hard. Again, there's a lot of intangibility going on, but if it's you, then do you, like, go for it, for real. Like, that was kind of what I learned as far as, like, being Disney and figuring out myself as an artist. Like, it's so important, I found, to just, like, don't fake, you know. And maybe that's hard to say because a lot of people have trouble finding themselves, too. But I'm so sure about, like, as far as the artist direction I'm taking and who I am, I'm so sure that, like, this is me. Same when I started doing music. Like, this is me. I'm doing it. And I guess you could say, like, thinking back and talking about this, like, my whole life has been that. Like, this is me. We're going all out. Do it. Practice. You know, play your instrument. Get your instruments. Just like, and, you know, again, it's hard because my parents supported me all the way through it. Not all parents are the same. Not all parents believe in it. So it's very situational. But I think it's really important to, like, when you find that part of you that's like, this is me, really just own it, embrace it, nurture it, let it out, don't be ashamed of it, you know. Yeah.